A tale of royal absurdity. In a realm where the extraordinary was ordinary and laughter echoed through the cobblestone streets, there lived a donkey named Dennis who was about to embark on the most whimsical adventure of his life. Quirktown, a place where peculiar was the norm and chuckles were the currency, was about to witness a tale that would forever be etched in its history. Dennis, an unassuming and mirthful donkey, had an itch for the unconventional. One sunny morning, as the town's residents bustled about their daily routines, Dennis found himself gazing at the grandest structure in all of Quirktown, the king's regal throne. It was a sight to behold, adorned with gemstones, plush velvet, and an air of authority. What would prompt a simple donkey to entertain such an audacious idea as to occupy that magnificent seat of power? Little did anyone know, Dennis was about to set in motion a chain of events that would flip the realm of Quirktown upside down, inside out, and all around in hilarious chaos. His donkey-driven daydreams were about to collide with reality, and the throne would never be the same again. Join us as we embark on a journey of giggles and grins, where a donkey's peculiar aspiration transforms into the talk of the town. With a bray of determination and a dash of donkey-style diplomacy, Dennis is about to prove that sometimes, even the most unexpected of characters can reign supreme or at least sit on a throne in a world where laughter reigns and merriment rules. So buckle up, dear reader, as we dive headfirst into the uproarious escapade of The Donkey Who Sat on the Throne.
Chapter 1: An Unexpected Visitor. Amidst the charming quirks of Quirktown, where people held conversations with their pets and gravity had a playful tendency to turn topsy-turvy, Dennis the donkey found himself at the heart of a remarkable predicament. It all began one serene morning when Dennis strolled past the royal palace, his hooves clip-clopping along the cobbled path. As Dennis curiously peered through the palace gates, he noticed the grandeur of the king's throne, glittering under the warm Sunday. The throne seemed to beckon to him, as if whispering secrets of power and majesty. Dennis, not one to shy away from whimsy, felt a spark of audacity ignite within him. With a gleam in his eye and a spring in his step, Dennis approached the imposing steps leading up to the throne. As the townsfolk went about their daily routines, they couldn't help but do a double-take when they saw Dennis's hooves grace those hallowed steps. A donkey on the throne now, that was a sight they'd never forget. Word spread like wildfire, and soon a small crowd gathered outside the palace gates, their laughter mingling with bewildered gasps. Dennis, heedless of the spectacle he was creating, mounted the throne with an air of regal determination. He sat upright, chest puffed out, and gazed out over his newfound kingdom with an expression of solemn grandeur. Passers-by exchanged baffled glances, the baker's cat even paused mid-leap to marvel, and a squirrel suspended its acrobatics to watch. The normally bustling town square had become a theater of absurdity, with Dennis as the star of the show. And there, on that peculiar morning, a legend was born, the tale of a donkey who dared to do the unthinkable. Quirktown had never witnessed a more unexpected visitor to the throne, and as the sun continued its ascent, Dennis's journey into the heart of comedic royalty was just beginning. The pages of his adventure turned with anticipation, ready to unfold a story that would tickle the imagination and warm the hearts of all who followed along.
Chapter 2: Donkey Dreams.
With a triumphant bray that echoed through the palace walls, Dennis the donkey found himself seated on the king's throne. However, the euphoria of his unconventional feat was quickly replaced by a wave of uncertainty, as he contemplated the responsibilities that came with this newfound position. As the town buzzed with chatter about the donkey on the throne, Dennis's mind raced with thoughts. He imagined himself draped in royal robes and adorned with a crown, surrounded by loyal subjects and basking in the glory of his whimsical accomplishment. But reality had a different idea in store. Inside the palace, Dennis found himself gazing at the intricate tapestries, the gilded furniture, and the lavish decorations that adorned the chamber. It was then that he realized being a king involved more than just sitting on a fancy chair. A kingdom was more than the sum of its decorations, it was a realm of responsibilities, decisions, and, perhaps most daunting of all, the need to balance the desires of the many with the needs of the few. As the days rolled on, Dennis's dreams of carefree royalty collided with the realities of ruling. He tried issuing proclamations about extra nap times and mandatory carrot breaks, but soon realized that leading a kingdom required more thoughtful decisions. How many carrots could a kingdom afford? Was it wise to grant squirrels permission to build treetop condominiums? Dennis's journey through the realm of donkey dreams was a lesson in the gap between fantasy and reality. While his aspirations were bold and his intentions pure, he began to see that ruling was a serious business. It wasn't just about sitting on a throne, it was about making choices that impacted the lives of many, even if those choices involved hilarious and unconventional decrees. Stay tuned as we follow Dennis's humorous misadventures, from his initial dreams of grandeur to his hilarious encounters with royal advisors, all while discovering the true essence of leadership and the unexpected lessons that come with donkey-style diplomacy.
Chapter 3: Hilarious Royal Decrees. In the realm of Quirktown, where absurdity and amusement reigned supreme, King Dennis I embarked on a quest to establish his unique brand of royal authority. Armed with a sense of humor and an unrelenting desire for merriment, he set forth to weave the fabric of his kingdom with threads of laughter. With a flourish of his hoof and a mischievous glint in his eye, King Dennis began issuing proclamations that left the town in stitches. In an attempt to bring smiles to even the grumpiest faces, his decrees reflected the very essence of his donkey spirit. Tuesdays were no longer ordinary days, they became donkey-eared Tuesdays, where every resident, from the smallest mouse to the tallest giraffe, sported a pair of comically oversized donkey ears. The town square transformed into a carnival of giggles, with laughter echoing through the air as people went about their business donning the silliest accessories. But King Dennis wasn't done yet. He declared that braying, the donkey's signature vocalization, was to be the official royal greeting. No handshakes, no bows, just a hearty yee-haw that reverberated through the streets. Soon, even the daintiest of rabbits were caught up in the contagious braying, resulting in a chorus of sounds that could be heard for miles around. The kingdom was alive with a newfound sense of camaraderie and cheerfulness. Citizens who had once passed each other with a polite nod now exchanged hearty brays, and the act of wearing oversized ears became a badge of honor. The town, once divided by its quirks, now united in its shared absurdity.
King Dennis's hilarious royal decrees served as a reminder that laughter had the power to dissolve differences and brighten even the gloomiest of days. His reign wasn't just about sitting on a throne, it was about fostering a sense of community and joy that transcended the ordinary. So, as the sun set on another uproarious day in Quirktown, the legacy of King Dennis continued to flourish, leaving a trail of brays and laughter in its wake.
Chapter 4: The Ministerial Menagerie. In the zany kingdom of Quirktown, where absurdity was embraced like an old friend, King Dennis I found himself faced with the delightful challenge of assembling his council of advisors. Determined to surround himself with the most unconventional yet wise minds, he formed a group that was a true embodiment of the town's unique character. Meet the Ministerial Menagerie, an eclectic mix of creatures with an array of quirks that rivaled the kingdom itself. At the head of the council was a wise old owl, Professor Whimsical, who was known for his sage advice and penchant for reciting ancient poetry at the most unexpected moments. Then there was Sassy Squeaks, a squirrel with a knack for quick-witted retorts and a penchant for acorn-based solutions. Finally, rounding out the group was Sir Purrington, an aristocratic cat with a flair for dramatic entrances and a refined taste in yarn. King Dennis would often call the council to order, and what ensued was nothing short of a delightful comedy show. Meetings became a blend of wisdom and whimsy, with Professor Whimsical reciting Shakespearean verses while Sassy Squeaks would throw acorns to cast votes. Sir Purrington, of course, preferred to communicate through expressive tail flicks and regal purrs. Decisions were made in the most unconventional ways. One day, they discussed the pressing matter of whether to introduce flying carpets as a new mode of transportation. The council engaged in a spirited debate, with each member offering their perspective in their own unique manner. As the debate heated up, Sassy Squeaks hopped onto a miniature flying carpet and zipped around the room, showering acorns in protest. The decision was eventually reached by a flurry of flapping wings, airborne squirrels, and fluttering yarn balls. The Ministerial Menagerie brought a blend of wisdom, hilarity, and unexpected insights to King Dennis's rule. As the kingdom navigated the daily challenges of donkey-themed holidays and squirrel-approved tree ordinances, the Ministerial Menagerie reminded everyone that leadership could be as whimsical as it was wise. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where King Dennis and his council find themselves embroiled in a tangle of tail-chasing diplomacy and feather-fluffing debates. Chapter 5: The Great Carrot Crisis. Quirktown had never seen a more uproarious predicament than the one that unfolded in Chapter 5. It was a time of turmoil, a time that would forever be known as the Great Carrot Crisis. As King Dennis I continued to rule with his unique brand of donkey-style leadership, the kingdom was hit by an unexpected shortage of carrots. Carrots, the beloved and prized treat of Quirktown, were suddenly scarce, and panic spread faster than a rumor in a rabbit warren. King Dennis, in his characteristic fashion, called an emergency meeting of the Ministerial Menagerie. Professor Whimsical huddled with his ancient scrolls, Sassy Squeaks rapidly scribbled acorn-based calculations, and Sir Purrington stared haughtily at the unfolding chaos. The kingdom held its breath, awaiting a solution to the crisis. After a flurry of hoots, squeaks, and dignified purrs, the council arrived at a decision: a grand carrot scavenger hunt would be organized. Citizens young and old would comb the kingdom in search of hidden carrot caches, competing to bring the most carrots back to the palace. The town erupted in carrot-fueled excitement. Residents of all shapes and sizes donned their best carrot-seeking outfits, some even fashioned makeshift carrot-sniffing devices out of twigs and leaves. The streets became a flurry of activity as families and friends raced against time, searching for the precious orange root. As the scavenger hunt progressed, the town transformed into a hilarious carnival of chaos. Squirrels, known for their lightning-fast acorn stashes, were now stumbling upon carrot troves in trees. Birds traded their songbird melodies for triumphant squawks as they discovered hidden carrot caches. Even the statues that lined the streets seemed to come to life, their stone eyes gleaming with a hint of mirth. In the end, the scavenger hunt brought not just carrots but an abundance of laughter and camaraderie. The crisis that had once seemed dire had transformed into a jubilant celebration of community spirit. And King Dennis, seated on his throne with a carrot crown atop his head, watched as the kingdom reveled in the joy of an unexpected adventure. As Quirktown emerged from the Great Carrot Crisis, it did so with an even greater appreciation for its quirks and the ability to turn a shortage into a side-splitting escapade. The tale of the carrot scavenger hunt would forever remind the kingdom that even in the face of the most absurd challenges, the power of unity and laughter would prevail.
Chapter 6: The Jester's Challenge. Laughter had become the currency of Quirktown, flowing through its streets and alleyways like a bubbling stream of mirth. And as the kingdom basked in the afterglow of the Great Carrot Crisis, a new challenge presented itself, one that would test King Dennis's wit and humor in unexpected ways. Enter Jester Jesterton, the master of jests, puns, and all things comical. With a floppy hat perched at a jaunty angle and a jingling belt that seemed to laugh along with him, Jester Jesterton arrived in Quirktown like a gust of chuckles. His reputation as the reigning pun champion preceded him, and the town's anticipation reached a fever pitch. King Dennis, ever the aficionado of all things silly, saw the arrival of the jester as an opportunity to prove his donkey-style humor prowess. A challenge was declared, a pun-off to determine who held the title of the kingdom's ultimate joker. The town square became the battleground for this whimsical showdown. Residents gathered around in eager anticipation, awaiting the verbal antics that were about to unfold. Jester Jesterton led the charge, delivering puns that turned the town square into a symphony of snorts and belly laughs. The ministerial menagerie was in its element, with Professor Hoot-Salot offering owl-inspired wordplay, sassy squeaks throwing acorn-infused quips, and even Sir Purrington adding his own brand of feline humor. But it was King Dennis's turn that stole the show. With a twinkle in his eye and a bray that echoed through the square, he unleashed a torrent of carrot-themed puns that had the crowd rolling with laughter. His wordplay ranged from carrot-astrophe to carrot-nival, and every utterance was met with uproarious applause. Jester Jesterton, while a master of puns, found himself out-punned by the Donkey King himself. With a gracious bow and a jingle of his belt, he conceded victory to King Dennis. The town erupted in cheers, and Quirktown had a new champion, a king who not only sat on the throne but ruled the realm of hilarity with puns fit for a donkey monarch. As the sun set on the pun-filled day, King Dennis's laughter-filled triumph left the town in stitches and proved that even in the realm of wit, a donkey could outshine the most esteemed jesters. And so, the legacy of the Jester's Challenge became yet another tale woven into the colorful tapestry of Quirktown's quirkiness.
Chapter 7, Royal Mixup. In the whimsical world of Quirktown, where laughter echoed off crooked rooftops and the unexpected was as commonplace as the sunrise, a twist of fate awaited King Dennis and his merry crew. Chapter 7 brought with it a most extraordinary event, the Royal Mix-Up. It all began with a simple delivery that quickly escalated into a delightful dose of absurdity. The kingdom's mail carrier, known for his penchant for taking unconventional shortcuts, brought forth a package wrapped in gleaming paper and tied with a ribbon fit for a king. The label, however, was not quite so kingly. It read, "For King Denny." With a tilt of his head and a quizzical expression, King Dennis accepted the package. As the townsfolk gathered to see what lay within, the wrapping was carefully peeled away to reveal a collection of the most dazzling crowns, golden, silver, and adorned with gemstones that glittered like stars. The ministerial Menagerie, with their characteristic flair, added their own interpretations to the situation. Professor Hootsalot theorized that the crowns were a gift from a distant realm. Sassy Squeaks suggested a squirrel-themed coronation festival, and Sir Purrington merely sniffed at the glittering display, clearly unimpressed. But it was King Dennis's solution that captured everyone's imagination. A royal mix-up ball was declared, inviting all the creatures of Quirktown to wear a crown and celebrate the unexpected turn of events. Birds perched on trees with miniature crowns, rabbits hopped about with carrot-adorned tiaras, and even the ever-dignified statues found themselves adorned with quirky headpieces. The royal mix-up ball was a tapestry of laughter and camaraderie. Dancing squirrels twirled under the moonlit sky, owls bobbed their heads in time with the music, and cats elegantly swayed to the rhythm of the night. King Dennis, donning a crown atop his ears, took to the dance floor with an enthusiasm that mirrored the spirit of his kingdom. As the night unfolded in a symphony of jests and jubilation, the Royal Mix-Up chapter became a testament to Quirktown's ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. It was a celebration that defied expectations and showcased the power of embracing life's twists with open hearts and donkey-style exuberance. And so, as the moon watched over the kingdom's playful revelry, the Royal Mix-Up remained a cherished memory, etching itself into Quirktown's history as a testament to the town's ability to find joy in even the quirkiest of happenings.
Chapter 8, The Grand Gala. In the land of perpetual laughter and astonishing eccentricities, Quirktown was about to witness an event unlike any before, the Grand Gala. Chapter 8 unfolded as King Dennis I, with his unmistakable donkey charm, decided to throw a party that would be talked about for generations. As the sun set over the kingdom, the palace grounds transformed into a dazzling wonderland of lights, colors, and decorations. Luminous fireflies flitted about, casting a soft glow upon the scene. The air was thick with excitement, and townsfolk donned their most outlandish attire in preparation for the event of the season. The ministerial Menagerie, ever the enthusiasts of all things unconventional, led the preparations with their usual flair. Professor Hootsalot orchestrated musical performances featuring owls hooting in harmony, Sassy Squeaks choreographed dance routines involving acrobatic leaps and twirls, and Sir Purrington, adorned in a tuxedo that matched his dignified persona, oversaw the impeccable placement of the decorations. And then, of course, there was King Dennis himself, the heart and soul of the evening. Dressed in a regal ensemble that was half crown and half cape, he greeted guests with his signature bray and a gracious bow that sent his crown askew. The ministerial menagerie, each dressed in their most lavish attire, offered their own unique greetings, whether it was an owl-inspired sonnet or a squirrel-accompanied backflip. As the night unfolded, the Grand Gala lived up to its name. Birds chirped in symphonic harmony, rabbits hopped about in a merry dance, and statues seemed to grin as they were bedecked with sparkling baubles. King Dennis led the way as he took to the dance floor, braying with delight as he twirled partners and displayed dance moves that could only be described as donkitastic. The highlight of the evening was the Royal Mixup dance, a dance-off that saw creatures swapping partners in a whirlwind of laughter and tangled tales. Even the statues seemed to get in on the action, spinning partners with an air of mischievousness. As the night wore on and the moon took center stage, the Grand Gala reached its crescendo. The town square echoed with laughter, music, and brays of merriment. King Dennis, perched on a makeshift stage, raised his carrot-crowned head high and declared the night a triumph of joy, reminding everyone that happiness wasn't just a feeling, it was a way of life in Quirktown. And so, as the stars twinkled overhead and the ministerial menagerie stole the show with an acorn-inspired dance finale, the Grand Gala chapter became a cherished memory in the kingdom's story. It stood as a testament to the transformative power of laughter and community, reminding all who were present that a donkey on a throne could bring a kingdom to its feet, not in deference, but in shared celebration.
Chapter 9: Passing the Crown. In the realm of endless chuckles and delightful absurdities, the time had come for King Dennis I to contemplate a chapter that would tug at heartstrings while tickling funny bones, the inevitable passing of the crown. As Chapter 9 unfolded, the kingdom of Quirktown prepared to bid farewell to its beloved donkey monarch. After a reign filled with donkey-themed holidays, uproarious decrees, and unforgettable escapades, King Dennis found himself reflecting on the journey that had transformed him from an ordinary donkey into a legendary ruler. The ministerial menagerie, too, pondered their roles in a kingdom where every day was a spectacle of comedy and camaraderie. Amidst the laughter and mirth, the realization dawned that being a king wasn't just about wearing a crown or making the quirkiest of decisions. It was about carrying the weight of the kingdom's hopes and dreams, making choices that impacted lives, and fostering a sense of unity that could withstand the passage of time. And so, with a heart both heavy and filled with joy, King Dennis called a meeting of the ministerial menagerie, where words were exchanged and emotions laid bare. Professor Hootsalot spoke of the wisdom King Dennis had displayed. Sassy Squeaks shared tales of laughter that had resonated across the kingdom, and even Sir Purrington, who rarely let his emotions show, purred his appreciation for the camaraderie that had flourished. In a decision that combined the practical with the poignant, King Dennis announced that it was time for the crown to be passed to a new ruler. As the kingdom prepared for the transition, a sense of nostalgia enveloped the air. Quirktown had seen its share of donkey-inspired hilarity, but it was also about to learn that change, even in the most whimsical of realms, was inevitable. The passing of the crown became a grand event, a blend of bittersweet farewells and hearty welcomes. The townsfolk gathered to witness the transition, their eyes shimmering with a mix of fondness and anticipation. King Dennis, with a crown perched proudly on his ears, stepped down from the throne with a bray that echoed through the palace. The new ruler, a young donkey named Denny Jr., took his place amidst a symphony of cheers. As the sun set on the day, Quirktown embraced a new chapter in its history. The legacy of King Dennis I lived on, not just in the tales of his antics and laughter-inducing reign, but in the spirit of unity and joy that he had woven into the fabric of the kingdom. And so, with a final bray and a curtain of stars unfurling in the night sky, the "Passing the Crown" chapter closed, leaving behind a kingdom forever changed by the donkey who had sat on the throne and, in doing so, had sat in the hearts of every resident of Quirktown.